All right, let's talk about something that can make even the most confident person's palms sweat a little: performance management. But what if I told you it's not actually about judgment? What if it's really about direction? You should think of it less like a final exam and way more like a GPS for your career, constantly helping you find the absolute best route forward. So, how does this actually work?
For so many of us, there are these two little words that just signal a wave of pure anxiety. You know exactly the ones I'm talking about. They pop up in an email from your boss, and boom, instantly you're replaying every single tiny mistake you've made over the last year. Yep, the annual performance review. It's always seen as this one-time, high-stakes, super stressful event, a dreaded meeting where an entire year of your hard work gets boiled down into a single score or a couple of paragraphs. But honestly, that's a really outdated and frankly broken way of looking at it. So let's reframe this whole thing. What if, instead of being this single, stressful meeting, it was an ongoing conversation? One that's actually designed to help you grow, to help you succeed, and to connect your work with what really, truly matters to the company. Now that is the promise of modern performance management. So let's dive into this better way forward. We are moving away from this idea of just a single snapshot in time, and we're moving toward the idea of a continuous journey of growth and feedback. The key word here, the one you really need to remember, is continuous. See, modern performance management isn't some once-a-year chore. It's a constant loop of setting goals, getting the support you need to hit them, and regularly checking in. It's all about alignment, not just assessment. And here's what that continuous loop really looks like. First, it starts with defining super clear goals. Then, and this is so crucial, it moves to providing support. You're not just left to sink or swim. The evaluation isn't the finish line. It actually leads to specific outcomes. And by the way, consequences doesn't just mean bad stuff. It could be a promotion, a raise, or a new development plan to help you build skills. And then, the whole cycle just starts over again. And this isn't just some theory. Look at a huge company like Adobe. They totally scrapped the old annual review for frequent check-ins. What we're seeing here is this huge shift away from judging the past and toward proactively coaching for the future. It just makes sense, right? In a world that moves this fast, feedback that's a year old is, well, it's just too slow to be useful. Okay, so a continuous process is obviously better. But what really makes a system work? I mean, it's not enough to just have more meetings, right? You need a system that's built on a really solid foundation. So let's break down the 5 keys to getting this right. These 5 things are basically the blueprint. First, does it fit with a company's strategy? There's just no point in rewarding work that doesn't actually help the company win. Is it valid and reliable? Meaning, are you measuring the right things and are you doing it consistently? And this next one is critical. Is it acceptable? Because if people don't believe the system is fair, they will not buy in. And finally, it has to give specific, actionable feedback. Good job is nice, but it's just not enough. Google is another fantastic example. Their old system was taking up a ton of time, so they revamped it to make it clearer and more efficient, which really reinforces that acceptability piece. It shows that even the most data-obsessed companies know that if a system is too clunky, people just won't use it well. So, how do we actually measure performance? Well, there are 3 main ways to look at it. You can look at attributes, things like leadership or teamwork. You can look at behaviors, the specific actions you take, how you get the job done. Or you can focus purely on the results, the hard numbers like sales figures or how many projects you completed. The best systems usually use a mix of all 3. Okay, now we are getting to the absolute heart of the matter: feedback. This is where the whole process becomes deeply human. And let's be honest, it's also where things can go really wrong. It's not just about what's being said, it's about who's saying it and all the little psychological traps they might fall into. Just think about who's evaluating you. Your manager? They've got the big picture, but they might not see your day-to-day grind. Your peers? They see you in the trenches, which is great, but friendship can definitely create some bias. And self-assessments? Well, they're awesome for reflection, but let's be real. We all tend to grade ourselves a little bit on a curve, right? This is exactly why so many companies now use what's called 360-degree feedback, which pulls input from all of these sources. And because these raters are all human, they bring their biases along with them. The first big one to watch out for is called the halo effect. This is when someone is just so great at one thing, maybe they're an incredible presenter, that you unconsciously assume they're great at everything else, like managing a budget, even if that's not the case at all.
And then you've got the leniency error. This is the classic manager who just wants to be everyone's friend. They avoid any tough conversations by giving everyone high ratings. Now, it might feel nice at the moment, but it's actually a huge disservice. It stops your true high performers from being recognized, and it robs everyone else of the feedback they need to actually grow.
So how do we fight back against these biases? Well, companies can train their managers to spot them. They can hold calibration meetings, where managers literally get in a room to debate and align their ratings to make sure things are fair across different teams. And more, they're using software and HR analytics to spot patterns that might signal a problem. And this is where technology can be a total game changer. Goldman Sachs, for example, moved away from this rigid 9-point scale to a system of continuous feedback delivered right through an app. This makes the feedback way more immediate and frequent, which helps avoid that trap of only remembering what happened in the last month right before a review. So, we've talked about the what and the how, but now I want to zoom out and talk about the why. What is the ultimate point of all of this? What is a good performance management system really trying to accomplish? It really just boils down to these three things. The biggest piece of the pie is strategic, making sure everyone's work is actually pushing the company towards its most important goals. Next up is developmental, helping you and every other employee grow your skills and advance in your careers. And finally, there's the administrative part, providing a fair, solid basis for decisions about things like pay and promotions. All three are absolutely vital. And when you put them side by side, the contrast couldn't be more clear. A broken system is that dreaded, unfair event that just demotivates people. But a healthy system, that's a continuous, clear process that actually develops skills and gets everyone aligned. It's really the difference between having a headwind or a tailwind for your entire career. And we can't forget this last crucial point. A well-designed system isn't just good management. It's also a legal safeguard. By basing evaluations on a formal job analysis, meaning the specific skills and duties a role requires, and then applying that system consistently to everyone, companies protect themselves and make sure decisions are being made fairly. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Take a look at your own workplace. Is performance a topic that only comes up once a year in some stuffy, formal review? Or is it part of an ongoing conversation, a true management system that's designed to guide you, to support you, and to develop you? The difference is everything. Thanks for tuning in.